Okay, at the very start of this live, I'm going to say one thing based off of legal reasons. I've got to watch what I say and how I say it. But let's put it this way, the information that is within my FBI informant files, my Joint Terrorism Task Force FBI informant files on names and associations to a certain individual, what the defense just did and how they just did it made me sick. When you talk to individuals, and it took a phone call I did tonight to confirm it, to know I knew exactly what was being talked about, who was being talked about, and you will not hear it come from me. I will not say a damn word. But let's just put it this way. There's a major case going down in Florida that the defense just put lives at risk. A case at risk that they want, they should need it to happen on an individual that is already involved with Delphi. Instead of doing what they did and how they did it, they needed that case to happen. Because the same friends, like you're seeing Tyler right here, the comment, knows where I live, plans to see me here soon, have nothing else to prove other than silencing and killing individuals that could go back to them in this ring. But what the defense just did and how they just did it makes me sick. They brought up individual, I can see understanding on trying to get innocence towards your client. Look here, not at my client, but how they chose to do it and what they just disclosed in this last motion made my stomach turn when I know exactly the case, the individual, and when detectives know information and how serious of a threat this individual, their cartel ring they belong to, sits still to this day. Like Carter lied to so many people. The threat is no longer active. There's no threat to the community. It's a bullshit lie. That threat still remains. It's taken other children's lives before and even after Delphi. There's 19 children's lives missing and murdered, burned alive. 19 children's lives. And they bullshit lied to you to everybody's face. Is the threat still remaining to this day? Yes, it is. But for individuals to finally hear me out, look where I'm saying, look where I'm showing, and to build a case, and unlike what Becky Patty did, we'll forward this information on to uh, Carter. Instead, hit it, and anything I was bringing up, showing, sending people my way to keep me from being believed like Anna promised. No one believes you and will stay that way. For individuals to finally hear me out on how serious of a threat these individuals are, it was relieving to know that somebody took me seriously, law enforcement wise. You don't know how relieving that is. But what they just did tonight, it put a big case that needs to happen in Florida and lives at risk. How they chose to do things, drop things, and how they did things tonight made me sick. It's one thing doing it this way or that way, but when you're bringing up another case tied back to Delphi, lives have already been lost, proven, and to throw that out in the blue like it's nothing, you're putting lives at risk on what they just did and how they just did it. I don't normally speak out or up or against anything they drop or whatever, but this one time, knowing damn well who and what they're talking about, and a threat they and their friends still remain to this day, yeah, makes me sick. When I know all too well the actions they've already done towards me, the attempts on my life, the threats, here recently, just from Tyler, one of their friends, I know all too well the threat of this individual and their friends, their connections. They really are. That's all I'm saying. I cannot say anything other than that legally, based off individuals I may have already talked to or may be talking to in the future. Legally, I cannot say anything other than what I just said. But what they just did may cost a case and an individual to walk and put lives at risk. Like I said, I don't normally speak up and against or out against what they've been saying or what they're putting out. But this one time, when I personally know all too damn well, down to some of my intel, my 1026 informant files have been going against this individual more ways than one. The victim and witness tampering charges. Yeah, I can already get charges on this individual myself, but when I'm talking to certain individuals that can further get charges not just for what they've done to me, but their actions have consequences and it's about to catch up to them, it's all I'm going to say. But I don't normally speak up and out against. But another thing I want you guys to bring up, like I've been bringing up, beacon tax and property information, insider trading. When it comes to this drug ring, counties like Carroll, Howard, they fuel, they make millions, thousands off this drug ring. Buyouts, look away, don't hit this person, don't hit this part. You got to keep in mind individuals like Fouts and ones he chose to represent as a defense attorney, ones he chose not to go against and give hard sentences as a judge. He was a client of the sexual trafficking side of the cartel Kokomo ring. He is a well known, high ranking GOP official. Him and others are clientele of a certain pimp of Kokomo. The individual that actually exposed Fouts, do you realize they'll go back and friends with another stripper that stripped right there at the Pimp of Kokomo's uh, show club? Did the Pimp of Kokomo's pay to play at Mobile Ground Shakers right before she herself went missing, Jamie Beasley? Yeah, little Miss TRJ sits right there, friends with another missing and killed individual, Jamie Beasley. Bet many of you didn't know that, did you? Then you got to keep in mind when I talked about INPD, other agencies knowing intel. I've even showed Becky, and I've got this on my Facebook group, my closed group, where when it comes to ones like Tyler, Gabe, this ring, she was highly interested in Gabe and Tyler. I've heard that name. Where's he from? But when I started letting it be known that, oh yeah, Tyler sits friends with Dustin Pritter, and how Dustin and Tyler know each other, is the same drug ring that Derek was dealing for, was stealing ammonia for. And Dustin, still to this day, sits friends with Tyler Joe French. But when I started making the ties and connections on how Derek would know these individuals, other than Facebook friends on games he plays, she started promising, oh, I'll get this information and these individuals to Carter. Chose to set on it, keep it silenced, make sure I'm not believed. Even Anna made sure no one believes you. And hiding the ties and connections back to him, three other murder suspects: Ashley Garth, Garrett Kurtz, Jennifer Deans Barnes. Three murder suspects sitting behind bars already for actions they chose with this ring and members inside this ring. And at times to act on behalf of this ring to kill individuals and silence them. Like I said, Nicole and Jeremy Patterson, I feel instead of drug related and letting it be known, it was after Delphi they were deciding to speak up. I think it was involving the girls and other children's lives being taken is what they were going to be speaking up on, and they were silenced like Blaine Nelson. Anybody that would have damning information, they would silence, kill, mute, delete, edit off this world. They've done it time and time again. But what the motion they just filed and they just put out for the world to know, you're putting more people's lives at risk by individuals that still remain a threat to this day. All I will say